For those of us who have studied the Buddha Dharma, we need to make a donation to the temple, even if it's a little less than the payment at other places. At least you have done your best. To give none and then run away is to usurp or damage the property of the eternally dwelling. 2. The eternally dwelling of the 10 directions. It is a place where any member of the Sangha from any place may stay. 3. The current eternally dwelling. The people who are currently living here are referred to as the current eternally dwelling. 4. The current eternally dwelling of the 10 directions. This refers to the actual property left by deceased Sangha members, which may be divided among the Sangha members of the 10 directions. The difference is that goods of the current eternally dwelling are only available to those living here temporarily. Those who come afterwards do not have a share, whereas that of the current eternally dwelling of the 10 directions is available to all those who come earlier and later. Who defile bhikshus or bhikshunis, some brutes, harass and rape nuns, they commit offenses. Who commit sexual acts within the Sangharama. The Sangharama is a still pure place. In other words, any Bodhimanda or temple. No one should be indulgent or unruly by engaging in sexual activity at any Sangharama or any place where there is a Buddha image. A man who suffered from a genital ulcer once asked Mahamudgalyayana the origin of his disease and was told, "In your past life, you wantonly engaged in sexual activity in a Sangharama. Having committed this offense, your male genital often festers with sores." Although he was speaking to a man, the principle is the same for women. Anyone who violates this rule will, in the future, be born in the house. After being in the house, they will be reborn and their genitals will often grow ulcers. These diseases are incurable. The cause and effect of these causes and conditions must be believed. If you do not believe, in the future you will undergo the retribution. Or who kill or harm beings there. Those who murder or hurt the victim of an unsuccessful rape attempt will fall into the relentless hell, where for thousands of billions of years they will seek escape in vain. Some people discover that the more they study Buddhism, the more inconvenient things become. The more they practice, the less freedom they enjoy. When you do not study the Buddha Dharma, constraints come later. Now, however, constraints occur in the present. We increase our good rules when we study the Buddha Dharma now. We increase our karmic obstructions when we do not study the Buddha Dharma. Constraints associated with those are forever. When you study Buddhism, you may limit it for a while, but this restraint is relatively short-lived. If you don't want perpetual freedom, you do not need to study Buddhism. If you want freedom in the future, you may want to accept a little less freedom in the meantime. The restraints of studying the Buddha Dharma are short-term by comparison. If you refuse to do so, your restraints will be lasting. Weigh the odds for yourself. Sutra. Beings who seem to be Shramanas but in their minds are not Shramanas, who destroy the things of the eternally dwelling, who deceive lay people, who go against the precepts and who commit many other evil deeds, will fall into the relentless hell, where for thousands of billions of years they will seek escape in vain. Commentary. There are 4 kinds of Shramana. The Shramana of the way of sages, the Shramana who speaks of the way, the Shramana who lives the way, the Shramana who defines the way. The first of these refers to the Buddhas and great Bodhisattvas. The second applies to those who explain sutras and preach the Dharma, particularly greatly virtuous monks and arhats who, having borne testimony to the fruition, spend their lives expounding it. The third kind, the Shramana who lives the way, takes cultivation of the way as his very life. The fourth kind, who are discussed in the sutra passage cited here, are Shramanas who define the way. Although the word Shramana has 4 meanings, it can also be explained with 3 meanings, which are not 3 at all, but really 2. And these 2 in turn are really just 1, which is to say Shramana. How amazing is this Buddha Dharma! The one meaning is simply Shramana, and that means diligent and cease. Diligent refers to Shramanas who are not lazy, and cease refers to those who are. So you see, Shramana has 2 meanings. One points to laziness, the other to vigor. The lazy one says to the diligent, don't bother working, relax and take it easy. The diligent one replies, don't be so lazy, follow me and cultivate the way. Since there are 2 sides, there is a battle to see which one will win. The one with greater strength will pull the other over. If the power of the diligent is greater, the lazy side loses. If the power of the lazy is greater, the diligent side loses. So these are the 2 meanings of the word Shramana, being diligent and ceasing. But I also said that this word has 3 meanings. How? There are 3 aspects to both diligence and ceasing. The threefold aspect of the former is the energetic cultivation of morality, samadhi, and wisdom. The threefold aspect of the latter is the putting to rest of greed, hatred, and delusion. Morality is abstinence from evil and carrying out good acts. It means to stop one's own evil conduct and guard against future mistakes. The guides to morality are the precepts. How many moral precepts are there? There are the 5 precepts. Abstention from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, false speech, and intoxicants. In addition to these, there are the 8 precepts, the 10 precepts of the Shramanara, the 250 precepts of the Bhikshus, and the Bodhisattva precepts, which consist of 10 major and 48 minor ones. There are also the 348 precepts of the Bhikshunis. Some people say that Bhikshunis have 500 precepts. Let's not worry too much about this. These days, most receive the 348. Samadhi is developed by meditation. It must be cultivated. Without cultivation, samadhi cannot be gotten. Why do people meditate? To meditate is to cultivate samadhi little by little. When you first begin to meditate, you have no samadhi, and your thoughts run off to the heavens and the hells, to the Buddhas and to the Bodhisattvas. In fact, your mind wanders all over the realm of horses, cows, sheep, chickens, dogs, and pigs. You see, your mind does not need a boarding pass. It freely roams the heavens and hells. It roams about due to a lack of samadhi. We are cultivating now to prevent our minds from running all over, from going to east and west and up and down. Someone is thinking, why bother cultivating concentration? Compare it to dancing. You prance and leap about, and it's much more interesting than just sitting there like a stick of wood. What are the advantages of samadhi anyway? It seems so rigid. Basically, it has no advantages. Then why bother with it, you ask? If you wish to reveal your inherent wisdom, you must first of all cultivate samadhi. For if you are not able to concentrate, your thoughts will be scattered about, and you will never manifest any wisdom. Wisdom comes from samadhi. If you want to be released from delusion, cultivate samadhi. Now, let me introduce someone who said that when meditating, he felt as if he were on the edge of a great precipice, on the edge of a very deep abyss, and was frightened. This is one of the initial indicators of your wanting to develop samadhi. Here, one must be particularly fearless. I will take this opportunity today to talk about it. Didn't I mention this before? If you are meditating and you feel that there is a great slab of iron suspended above your head on the verge of breaking loose, or if you feel a bomb is about to go off, do not be affected by it, because if you are, it will be quite easy to enter the realm of the demons. If you become attached to such signs, the atomic bomb you feel over your head may very well go off. If, on the other hand, you pay no attention to them, demons cannot come near you, and in fact, they will have to run away. The mental state in which a huge crevasse appears while you are in meditation represents your karmic obstacles, which are heavier and deeper than 10,000-foot abyss. Now, you know how heavy your karmic obstacles are. It should urge you to cultivate, but do not be fearful. Sometimes you are meditating, you may feel blissful freedom, which is so joyful that you forget everything else. This is a taste of dhyana, the most blissful experience in the world of form, which far surpasses connubial pleasures or pleasures from taking intoxicants. It is a state that cannot be described. It is said that only the one who drinks tea knows whether it is cold or not. The same is true of the flavor of dhyana. If you have experienced this state, you know what it is like. You can tell what stage or level someone as soon as they describe it. One of my disciples, for example, is about to reach the ground joy from living birth, one of the 4 dhyanas. This is actually quite common and can occur to anyone who cultivates it sincerely. That kind of bliss cannot be compared to, and at this point, one is on the verge of leaving afflictions and obtaining bliss. This stage is one form of samadhi. What is the function of wisdom? Someone with wisdom will not go down the wrong road. You are confused because you turn your back on enlightenment and unite with the dust. You mistake suffering for happiness because you are ignorant. One must diligently cultivate morality, samadhi, and wisdom. We do not need to listen to too many sutra lectures. Just this one word, diligence, is enough for us to draw upon endlessly. Diligently cultivate morality, diligently cultivate samadhi, diligently cultivate wisdom. We must cultivate, otherwise we do not acquire this. Listen to your master. Also, we must put to rest greed, hatred, and delusion. Did I not say resting is laziness? Laziness is about stopping and resting, but this resting is about putting greed, hatred, and delusion to rest. When greed rests, you are not eager for any materialistic pleasures and others. When hatred rests, you do not get angry. Donate your anger to whom? To me, to your master. A master needs huge fiery tempers that scare the disciples. The disciples are not afraid of a master as soft as cotton. Hence, they do not cultivate being lazy. The above, the Above are the various meanings on how shamanas should diligently cultivate precepts, samadhi, and wisdom, put to rest greed, hatred, and delusion. There are beings who seem to be shamanas, but in their minds are not shamanas. Although they are shamanas in name, they are not shamanas in their hearts. Not only do they not cultivate morality, samadhi, and wisdom, they do not end in greed, hatred, and delusion. They claim more greed, hatred, and delusion are better, and best of all, forget about morality, samadhi, and wisdom. They pretend to be shamanas. This type of shamanas does not practice compassion or patience, the six perfections, or the myriad practices. They purposely avoid doing things that shamanas do. What do? Destroy the things of the eternal dwelling. Items belonging to the triple jewel, even small ones, cannot be wasted or casually ruined. Even though it is only a piece of paper, add it up and one turns into many. Even if your damage just a sheet of paper, you destroy the things of the eternally dwelling. There is a saying, do not take even a blade of grass or a splinter of wood without permission. Taking without permission is stealing. We cannot take use other people's things without letting the owner know. Otherwise, that would be a theft, a violation of the precept against stealing. If as simple a thing as a needle and thread is given to you as an offering, it may not be used carelessly, and most certainly may not be given away. Even monastics cannot give away goods belonging to the temple to others. You may give away your personal belongings, such as an article of used clothing. Community items, however, even something as minute as a piece of thread, cannot be casually given away to win friends. It is a mistake to gain personal favors so that people will feel obliged to aid and support you. Monastics must pay particular attention to this. Destroying the things of the eternally dwelling does not refer only to a large quantity of items, but merely giving away a sheet of paper, a piece of thread, or even a grain of rice based on emotion. Even monastics do not have the right to give away community items, even if it is just a stick of incense. Those who constantly deceive and lie to lay people, who go against or violate the precepts, such as the 5 precepts, the 10 precepts, the 10 major and 48 minor precepts, or the 250 precepts, and who commit many other, not just one, unimaginable evil deeds, will fall into the relentless hell, where for thousands of billions of years they will seek escape in vain.